Well, the president's physical has been released, and it is a work of art. He could be in the octagon, the shape he's in. I mean, if that's the shape he's in, he's built for 10 more terms. Forget about a possible third. That said, when he ran in 2016, the doctor that released his glowing report then died mysteriously. Dr. Harold Bournestein. Remember him? Poor guy. Anyway, this doctor, military captain Sean Barbarella, should be, I'm going to guess, a little more upstanding. We'll get into the full report. It's fascinating. We'll do that in a minute. But first, Saturday night, a hero's entrance at the UFC. Donald Trump comes in. I mean, there's Kai, his granddaughter, next to him. As he walks, only the fighters get a big entrance with a big walk-in song. The Don comes in, gold, yellow tie, an inch, sometimes two, below the belt line. It's a normal length. Trump does wear them up high. The crowd going nuts. They're chanting USA, USA. Oh my, the ass kissery was on fire. And all the bros were there. El Stool Presidente Dave Portnoy. Shaq right there, by the way. Going out of his way, the big man, to give a little love to the Don. By the way, a lot of people giving Shaq, they're giving Shaq heat for that. He's getting a lot of heat for, reaching out and going to. Why? The president of the United States is in. Shaq got out of his seat to go shake his hand. There he is. Trump walks by RFK Jr., gives him some love, blows off his beautiful wife, Cheryl Hines. Look at that. She puts the hand out to greet the Don. He walks right by her, left her hanging. You know what? I posted that. I said, did Don leave Cheryl? Did he just curb her enthusiasm in a way that the whole world would be talking about? MAGA went nuts on me, right into the comments section. He doubled back. He gave her a hug. It was an oversight. The MAGA will defend the Don at every turn. They don't give a shit about tariffs and the loss of $10 trillion in market cap at all. Why? There's all. Now we're rolling it back. There's El Stool Presidente, Dave Portnoy kiss. Dave Portnoy is very excited about the showers. He loves that Trump is saying we can take long, hot, beautiful showers. Everybody likes water pressure, right? Old school clubs and old hotels. They have that grandfathered in heavy pressure. Everybody wants that back, especially Portnoy. We just pick the things we fight over. But yeah, I mean, the Don walks in, the place goes off the charts. Now, Bernie Sanders got a nice, reception at Coachella this weekend. Everybody preaching to the choir, like I said. But nothing like Trump walking into the UFC. And the people, when I say they don't care, they don't care. The $10 trillion in market cap, I'll tell you why they don't care. They don't care because they're not participating in it, right? If you look at 50%, the bottom 50% of the country, they're struggling to make ends meet at all. So the market cap is Wall Street, and the rich people are losing a lot of money, but they have a lot of money. So MAGA is just, they will fight. Look, in the end of the day, is it going to cost them more? Are things going to be more expensive at the store? Very likely, but it doesn't matter. They've got his back at all costs, and they feel left out, and Trump's fighting for them, and they're not giving up on it, no matter what. By the way, we'll get into some of that craziness in a little bit, but Trump's 3-page physical released by his doctor, the impeccably reputable doctor who in no way could be persuaded by even the most persuasive man alive, Captain Sean Barbarella, the military doctor, and said Trump is basically a full-blown unit. This thing is loaded. The report is loaded with familiar demonstrative rhetoric and superlatives. It says things. He exhibits excellent cognitive and physical health, and he's fully fit. Goes on to say he's exhibiting robust cardiac, pulmonary, neurological, and general physical function. I love the word robust. It also says he's 224 pounds. Really? Trump is 200? And I get that he's 78 years old and in 10 months, his height, he's 75 inches tall, 224 pounds. I was talking about this morning, doing what every man does in the beginning of his day, put on his makeup, and get ready for television, right? Don't we all do that? Sitting there with my makeup guy, Steven, and Steven said, well, I'm 224 pounds. I said, really? Steven, let's take a little photo together. You look exactly like Trump. I got to say, the body's good. They're interchangeable. Steven and Trump, 224 pounds. Sure. All right, the report says his LDL, that's the bad cholesterol, it's optimal. He's got the cholesterol perfectly under control. Trump is taking a rosuvastatin. Hey, me too. I take the exact one. Rosuvastatin. I get bad cholesterol, but Trump's taking that. By the way, he's 78. I'm 53. I mean, maybe I'm the one that should be worried. Anyway, there are some abnormalities, they call them, in there, in the report. A benign polyp that was removed. That comes with a visual of where it was removed from, and we need to move on. Diverticulosis, asymptomatic, not a big deal. Those are little, sacs and pockets in the colon that everyone has. And then it said another abnormality was scaring on his ear. Scaring. I've got it up if you're watching on YouTube. I didn't mispronounce it. That's a typo. It's supposed to be scarring. Right? A little reminder of the divine salvation. He was shot in Butler, Pennsylvania. And he survived it because God ordained it. Scaring. Any typo from the White House is scary to me. That's very scary. It's if he's tweeting while watching Fox News at midnight, I'm good. Covfefe. Whatever. A little typo here, the Don's on a roll. But something that comes out from the White House, a physical report that we're all supposed to take at face value. I don't like a typo. That kind of worries me. Aren't there many levels of clearance before something comes out from our government? Now, they also go into mental health. No abnormalities there at all. He tested for cognitive function, depression, anxiety. And as Trump said, I took a test and got every answer right. Beautiful answers, beautiful questions. And beautiful, beautiful answers. By the way, Biden's doctors, just to be fair here, did not give Joe Biden a cognitive test in his last year at all. Wow, they say, Trump may be comfortable lying. We're not comfortable lying, so we're not even going to take the test. Talk about plausible deniability. Wow. Best part of the whole report, which if you want people to believe you influenced it in no way, I would have left out. His days are full of meetings, public appearances, press conferences, and wait for it, frequent victories in golf events. Not golf events, frequent victories in them. I love the hubris. It's so entertaining. This is so funny to me. Rick Riley is a good friend of mine. Play golf with him sometimes. Writer from Sports Illustrated. He recently wrote the book Commander-in-Chief, all about Trump's many offenses on the golf course. Rick famously said, golf is like bike shorts. It reveals a lot about a man. I remember a particular round at a golf course here in Los Angeles. Trump is playing with 4 people. One of them happens to be an all-time legendary sports broadcaster that you know, and I know him very well. Tells me the great story that he's playing with Trump, and at the end, Trump is doing everything, by the way. He's hitting his second shot into the sand, and he zooms up in his golf cart so fast to the sand trap, he kicks it out of the sand somehow. Everyone saw the poof in the sand when the ball hit. Somehow they get to the green, and the ball is, 3 feet onto the green. Lots of this happens all the way around the course, and at the very end, Trump turns to our friend, the broadcaster, and he says, ever seen a 66 out here? To which my friend said, not like that one. He famously plays the first round of a club championship from a different course. And then he calls 3 days later when the actual tournament is taking place, because he's too busy to be there with the other men playing, and he calls and says, what was the top score? And the pro says, Larry Silbowitz had a 74. Trump says, that's amazing because I just shot a 72. So get rid of Silbowitz. He's out, and put my name on the trophy. Another win. He tried to cheat Tiger Woods. It's all in the book. These are corroborated sources. Tiger Woods hit 2 in the water. Not Tiger. Trump hits 2 in the water. And pretends that he didn't hit any in the water. Let's try the third. Mike Tirico Sunday Night Football, playing with Trump, has the shot of his life. It's a par 5. His second shot, he's never hit a better shot. You've seen Mike. It turns, beautiful draw, goes on to the green in 2. Everybody sees it. What a shot, Mike. They get there, the ball's in the bunker. Why? Because Trump has gone 85 miles an hour ahead of them and kicked it in the bunker. And famously, Rick Riley talked to some of the caddies at the Bedminster Club, Trump's club in Bedminster, New Jersey, and they confessed that they call him Pele because he kicks the ball so much. Preferred lie. So the annual physical report feels, if I'm going to be honest, mostly true, actually. I mean, if you look in there, it's like, it seems to be generally true with the obvious bravado. I mean, thank God for statins. You know, he likes to dine out. He loves fast food. I remember in 2005, probably, I'm the Access Hollywood East Coast reporter in New York. And we were always trying to cook up ways to do something else with Trump. I mean, his show was on fire in the ratings, and he's an absolute soundbite machine. I mean, any question, every other celebrity walks around with a publicist, not Don. The publicist for Donald Trump just carries the bag. He says whatever he wants, as you know. So I go in there, and Rob Silverstein, who's right there. Step to the mic here for a second, Rob. I mean, you and I would talk on a regular basis about the next thing we could do with Trump. His headlines were so great. His sound bites were so great. Constantly, yes?
Bill, if there was a big breakup in Hollywood, I'd say, Bill, see what the Don says about this.
Yeah.
It's irrelevant to the Don, but I just want to know what he says about it.
Yeah. Like if Katie Holmes and Tom Cruise broke up, Bill, run up to Trump Tower, if you would. It's, 10 blocks from 30 Rock, and just see what Trump has to say about it. He always had something to say about the most trivial things, right? Incredible. So I tour his apartment. I'd say, Rob, I got it. I got Trump to tour his private residence. Me, Melania, and Donald are going to tour the residence. This is incredible. So we go, I'm usually in his office with him. We go to the top, and we're touring the apartment, 2005. I go to the bedroom, the walk-in closets. By the way, he has a headboard, a gold headboard. I don't know if it's real gold, but it's got a giant T in the middle of the headboard. Is that unbelievable? Just to see your logo right there while you're sleeping. No, I guess if you're not, you have to be doing something else to see it, I guess. Anyway, I toured his apartment in 2005 into the kitchen. I opened the refrigerator to see what does Trump have in there? Water for Melania and Diet Coke. No food. Not even a box of baking soda. Nothing. Just water bottles and Diet Coke. Does Trump make shit up? You bet he does. And usually it's so funny that who cares? Because always, I mean, the 10 years that I spent with him inseparably, it's all non-consequential. He's the biggest reality star in TV. Who cares? Whether it's, factual or not. But, he makes it up. Speaking of that physical report, let's not forget Dr. Harold Bournestein, his personal physician who declared about Trump. If you're watching us on the YouTube right now, folks, you're seeing a handsome man right there. That's one good-looking doctor. That's a guy I'd trust with everything in me. I mean, they look like they found him under a bridge. Anyway, he said about Trump when he was running the first time, quote, the laboratory results are astonishingly excellent, and that Trump will be the healthiest individual ever elected to the presidency. Sadly, in May 2018, Bournestein told CNN that, in fact, Trump had dictated the letter over the telephone and then sent a car to pick up the letter and then released the letter. Bournestein told NBC News that 3 Trump representatives had raided his office in February of 2017, right after he became president, taking all of Trump's medical records out of there. Bournestein said he felt raped, frightened, and sad over the event. He identified 2 of the men. One, a guy I know really well, Trump's longtime bodyguard, Keith Schiller. I mean, I spent as much time with Donald as I spent for 10 years, covering as the top NBC, entertainment guy and the top NBC talent. We're like inseparable. But his bodyguard, Keith, oh my God, he was with us all the time. So Keith and the Trump Organization's chief legal officer, Alan Garten. 2 days earlier, Bournestein told a reporter that Trump took a prescription hair growth medicine, Propecia, and then Trump cut ties with him. After 38 years, he was so wounded by the suggestion that he took Propecia for that beautiful blonde head of hair. That's where Trump drew the line, said 38 years, you're fired, Bournestein, get out of here. But he's been making shit up for years. Keep in mind, his base does not give one shit about that. They don't care. And yes, I've said a million times, he is absolutely hysterical. So file this one under, you can't make this up, but he did anyway. There was a PR and media strategist to Donald Trump in the 1990s named John Miller, who would call magazine writers and gossip columnists on behalf of his far too busy for sophomoric Trivial Pursuits client, Donald Trump. And he would correct the record. He would plant stories. John Miller was an amazing PR representative, had a very familiar voice, too, very familiar. Like, let's see. Let's listen to the call when John Miller dialed up a People magazine writer to discuss Donald's platinum status as a ladies' man.
I'm somebody that knows, and I think somebody that he trusts and likes. He's somebody that has a lot of options, and frankly, he gets called by everybody. He gets called by everybody in the book in terms of women. He didn't want to make a commitment. He really thought it was too soon. He's living with Marla, and he's got 3 other girlfriends.
Is that so funny? He's living with Marla, but he has 3 other girlfriends. Don't just think that it's just one. I mean, this is a man with a tremendous libido and great fortitude in the sack. He's got 3 girlfriends. And then he goes on and he's saying, there was a report. The magazine writer was like, you were at a restaurant and you came over to hit on Madonna. And he's like, no, this is John Miller. And that did not happen. It's actually the opposite. Madonna was hitting on him. And you heard one word in there that gives the whole thing away. Frankly. He's been using frankly for a very long time. Frankly, probably forever. He threw a frankly in there. The franklys have been going on forever, and it's a dead giveaway. I mean, what self-respecting stud wouldn't use a surrogate to reinforce to the housewives of America who read People magazine that they are a wildly sexy and successful Lothario, right? The other guy that makes stuff up right now is Peter Navarro. People went crazy over the fact that Peter Navarro, Trump's economic advisor and tariff guru, in 6 different books, referred to an economic expert named Ron Vera. Turns out Ron Vera is, in fact, Peter Navarro. There is no Ron Vera. Now, it's not new. He talked about that in 2019, Navarro, and he said it's just a whimsical device, a way to make a point, or a total lie. You made somebody up. Now, to the tariffs, since we're speaking of tariffs. The God-forsaken tariffs, man. No, Trump wasn't brilliant. No, clawing back the tariffs for a 90-day review period was not part of the plan. He wasn't being strategic. He was riffing, man. It's what he does. He spooked investors because he's known for a little volatility. The one temperament ingredient that markets resist. Scott Bessent, bless his heart, the Treasury Secretary, lied by saying this was Trump's expert hand at the tiller. Right? He floats the big tariffs, but then he dials him back, right? And this is a really great strategist. No, nobody buys that except Trump himself because it's what he wants and needs to hear. We all know that was Scott Bessent saving the markets. What a good guy. What a sacrifice, right? He's got a big reputation to uphold. He's America's bond salesman. And he's taking it on himself, and he knows how to stroke the Don. But is there any good here? Is anyone else terrified, but also a little suspect of a media that is so united in their hate of Trump that they'd rather see markets collapse than Trump succeed? Yeah, I'm suspect. There's so much crap out there. Here's what Columbia University professor of economics Jeff Sachs said about Trump's tariffs.
If something wipes out $10 trillion of market capitalization in 2 days, you're probably on the wrong track. The United States is on the path of wrecking the world economy once again.
Now, that guy's from Columbia University. And you know Columbia University is very hurt. Trump's been fighting with them. They're having a bad time together. But, you know, not everybody feels that way.